Squid Games has become a cultural touchstone over the last couple of years, it seems, permeating the zeitgeist for Western audiences in a way that no other Asian property has since anime or video games. In fact, it seems like South Korea has been leading the charge for great live-action foreign movies and TV shows that have compelled the normally not-so-accepting Americans to welcome it in. Train to Busan and even the award-winning Parasite are well regarded by people all around the world. Previously, only Hollywood and other American companies like Disney, for example, managed to make that large of a global impact everywhere. So what's up with the phenomenon that is Squid Games? Spoiler alert for the whole show, assume nothing is sacred going forward. As much as I can appreciate the character building and the drama the writers are trying to tell, most of us just care about the premise the show promises. Adults playing children's game with a deadly twist. It might just be because us Westerners prefer the carnage and spectacle over the subtle and introspective, because I too was checking the clock every time the plot had to happen instead of what we were actually there for. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is pretty much the only thing I'm known for those of you who even know who I am. I have also released a really shitty Blink-182 parody and a philosophical look behind why Peter Dinklage's incorrect take on the dwarves of Snow White may have caused that film's downfall, among other reasons. Only like 5 people watch those. Thanks, Mom. So I have to do what every YouTuber does, pander to what works. So if I trim the fat that is the plot of the show, we're going to pit all of the main Smash characters through 3 separate Squid Games. You've noticed I said 3 separate Squid Games. No, it wasn't a mistake, and no, I didn't just see that there's 3 seasons of the show and assume they were all separate games. I know season 2 and 3 were originally one and tell the story of Sung Gi-hun's second game. Even if it's not by the writers of Squid Game and is a reality TV spin-off, I'm going to include Squid Game The Challenge as the 3rd game. I'm a bit of a masochist and like to make as much work for myself as possible. This will be split up into 4 parts, one for this introduction and red light, green light, and the rest will be each collective group of games instead of one super duper long video. Now, YouTuber 1UpBinge has already done this video and his version is more streamlined and has higher production quality than I have by 1,000 miles. Please check his video out. I'm my own mythical fish whale though, so my video will have different opinions and perspectives, so I hope you stick around for the journey. I made a poll for my subscribers asking if I should include all of the fighters from my counting video or just the main fighters, and they said everyone is here. I didn't realize at the time how absolutely ludicrous the research for some obscure characters would be. Like, how successful would Nakaruru be? I have no idea. For the 3 people who may have followed my community posts and have been wondering what's taking so long, I got a new job and it's eating away at my writing and editing time. I don't make money off YouTube yet, so if you want to see content more often, please consider subscribing to my Patreon to support the channel, and if you don't have the means to do so, then subscribing, commenting, and sharing goes a long way in helping me out. It's free for you and mean the world to me. The other reason it's taken so long is I've literally written and scrapped 4 other drafts of this script. I went between every character from my counting video to just the main 89 fighters, to all characters from my counting video except duplicates like multiple Yoshis for example, because that's redundant. And I thought people would find it a cop-out to make a poll just to not honor results, so I went with every single alt and variant for my counting video and got most of the script done until it just became way too much to research. Ultimately, not only was it an unreasonable amount to have to track, I think it would be unfair and unsatisfying for Dante or the Doomslayer to eventually win, even though they are just meat costumes in Smash. So on draft 5 here, I have concluded that I'm going to do the 79 fighters from Ultimate plus Master Hand because why not? I'll add a couple additions as alts and I'll list them on screen while I talk. Now for some changes to the roster for this video, Duck Hunt will be separated into the Dog and Duck. The higher dimensional being, that is the child with the zapper, doesn't count. Pokemon Trainer and their Pokemon are all separate. Ice Climbers are separate, Pyra and Mythra are separate, Banjo and Kazooie are separate, Rosalina and Luma are separate, Mario and Dr. Mario are one character, and Samus and Zero Suit Samus are one character. Speaking of Samus, that reminds me. Nobody gets any extra weapons or equipment. They only get abilities or powers inherent to them as individuals and not granted to them by an item, weapon, or armor unless it's necessary for them to survive. Much like how Gi-hun and Sungwoo were friends outside the games, any alliances these characters may have from their own series can be used here as well. I'll have a list of all competitors on screen for you to read as I explain the next part, as well as any alliances they would likely have. I have every single fighter listed here on screen now. Feel free to pause if needed to look through who's all here. To set up our premise, obviously the PlayStation buttons and their guns won't do much against large chunks of the cast, so instead we're gonna actually pull one out of Marvel's playbook. In Secret Wars, a character known as the Beyonder plucks heroes and villains off their world and whatnot to compete in a cosmic battle. I will use my infinite power as a deity to get everyone here, and if they do something to get eliminated, I'll remove them from play regardless of their actual in-world strength. Also, all 3 death games will be as if it's the first run ever. That way they can't use knowledge of the first games to get an advantage in the next set of games, you follow? No one can vote to end the games here. Everyone is canon size and I won't be forcing a one-winner rule unless the game happens to work that way. It doesn't explicitly state in the contract that only one character can win, though it's implied heavily. The game makers push it to that conclusion as best they can. Look at the end of Season 3, where out of 9 remaining players, 6 of them could have won. We also won't be doing the so-called bonus game that's been nicknamed Lights Out. You know, when everyone starts fighting to the death on night 2 because of a lack of food in order to weed out the weaker players? While it's probable for it to happen, that's not really a game in my eyes. I'd hate to eliminate Mario because Kirby ripped him in half and not because he failed by his own merits. Okay, time for me to shut the hell up and...
Get on with it! Yes! Get on with it!
Since all 3 games start with red light, green light, we'll do that game here, and whoever gets eliminated is removed from all challenge videos going forward. It's redundant to keep going through red light, green light every time. We start with 120 total characters.
Welcome to the Smash Bros. Squid Games. Today, we will be playing Red Light, Green Light.
This is the most famous and well-known game from this series. It seems pointless, but I'll explain for the one person out there who doesn't know. I see you, Brad. I just assume your name is Brad. And a creepy doll says green light and you walk or run towards the other side. When it says red light, it turns its head around, and if it detects movement, that person is eliminated. It's meant to be the huge culling of the crowd, as most unsuspecting players don't know it's a death game at first, and then mass panic eliminates like half the players usually. There's some characters that are so fast they can probably cross the moment they're given the first green light. Is anyone surprised Sonic is probably first across the finish line?
Better run fast!
Bayonetta can use Witch Time to get across almost immediately. Similarly, characters that can teleport can also get through this quite easily. U2, Sephiroth, and Palutena, for example, are fine here. Characters with excellent coordination and poise, or at least great reaction speed similarly, will have an easy time. Sheik, Snake, Joker, Greninja, Ryu, and Ken are all standouts in this regard, for example. Wario is actually excellent at these kinds of things, seeing as in the WarioWare series, striking a quick frozen pose or following weird instructions have the norm for him there. Some of the smarter characters like Zelda can figure out that you can hide behind gigantic characters like K-Rool to hide from the camera. Who struggles in all this? Well, if Luigi starts seeing characters dying or getting eliminated, he has a bad habit of trembling with fear. Having Mario and his friends there or the threat of elimination can be enough to help his nerves, but he could possibly get eliminated. Here's some characters that I think will get eliminated for sure though. For size reasons, Olimar, Alf, and Rob's cannon heights are so small I literally don't know if they could cross the finish line within the time constraints.
Players eliminated.
Rob has the added risk of having flashing lights that could ruin its chances. Some characters that I don't really see comprehending things like rules would be Piranha Plant, who could even move to the finish line at all.
Player eliminated.
Minecraft characters like the zombie or Enderman also seem too oblivious to follow rules or even care. The Duck Hunt duck is just seemingly a regular average duck. Have you tried to give a duck orders? It doesn't listen. The dog shows enough intelligence to mock you and be an asshole, so it's safe. For now.
Players eliminated.
Once characters start getting eliminated, I think some characters would panic and eliminate themselves like you see in the show. I'm going to eliminate Trainer Red, Trainer Leaf, and Luma as they would probably freak out, and I need to call the herd somehow.
Players eliminated.
In fact, statistically speaking anyway, some of these duplicate characters are likely to make a mistake and fail. So I'll literally select some at random that get eliminated because of sheer probability. Here's a random spinning wheel and 4 of those characters will get eliminated in an impersonal way. We remove the male Byleth, the female Robin, the male Wii Fit Trainer, and the Mii Sword Fighter.
Players eliminated.
Could be too arrogant to listen or not care? While you would think Sephiroth or Ganondorf would be, they've also been shown to be smart and cunning, would likely sit back and observe the chaos and its consequences. You know who is too chaotic to listen? Lemmy Koopa would likely just ignore the rules out of boredom, or because he thinks it's funny. Roy Koopa I also feel would straight up not listen to the rules. Not that he's not smart, but because I'm sure he wouldn't want to be told what to do.
Players eliminated.
I also don't think that the Fierce Deity, Dark Samus, and every Dark Link would care about the problems of mortal beings.
Players eliminated.
Palutena and Kirby may seem like they'd be above all this, but I think they'd recognize the severity of the situation. Weaker players like Nana and Popo or Pichu have strong alliances to help them make it through here. Finally, Morton Koopa also goes as he's shown to be straight up an idiot and probably will do something stupid.
Player eliminated. The game has ended.
Alright, this brings us to the end of part 1, and we stand with 98 characters left. Still lots to go, and they're strong competitors. Join me next time when we go through the remaining games of Season 1 and determine who should win the game. See you next time, and don't forget to wake the windfish.